Hey, what is up everyone? I'm Tiana here, alongside with Daffy Duck here, and we are from the likes of in the Maxi Toys videos today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat for the Nintendo Gamecube and Nintendo Wii. So last time we have managed to gone through the Lychee Kingdom, despite how Daffy got owned by the forms of Double Tusk on the Wii version. I have no problems during the forms of the Thunder Rock, but even then though, that's besides the point. So even then though, today, for this episode in between, and that was the fact that we're going to be hit on to probably the definition of the forms of the longest kingdom in the whole entire game. And that's what appeared to be the forms of Chili Pepper Kingdom. Now, we did say this in the past, that originally we did say about the fact that both the Peach Kingdom as well as Durian Kingdom will be the longest kingdoms of the bunch, but no, the truest longest of the bunch in terms of kingdom's length, that is the Chili Pepper Kingdom, because, well, we'll dive right in as soon as we're able to get started with, of course, the Chili Pepper Kingdom itself. So either way though, let's get this started in Cloudy Heights. And this particular level, as you can tell, this is by far the best level in the whole entire game. Probably because, in addition to able to actually take place in the skies, but it's also the fact that, as you can tell, we're going to be pulling off a lot of combos in this particular stage. Which, believe me, you should definitely recommend you able to do that, especially if you really want to get yourselves all 4 crests in the game. Well, specifically in the Gamecube version, and 3 crests in the forms of in the Wii version, then I should probably recommend you able to actually pull off a lot of combos. Well, specifically if you're able to master it with it. So even then though, I just want to point that out right away, I don't know if I can able to get about like 3,000 or something, because even then though, I really do try, but it actually took me a lot of tries to able to actually just well, trying to do this stage in particular without any making simple mistakes, because if you somehow made one simple mistake, if you're about to get hit by the enemy, or even especially noticeable with the worst defender of the bunch, it will be the Hornets potentially. So even then though, because if you get hit by them, then chances are say goodbye to your combos, because otherwise you won't be able to actually get more beats during that time, which even then though, you just have to be very precise, and especially noticeable, we need to be very careful most of the time, so just in case you won't be able to lose a whole bunch of your beats currently on the forms of the Gamecube version, as you can tell. So even then though, and plus you really don't want to make any simple mistakes on the forms of that swinging champs, as you can see right there. So even then though, chances are you just have to avoid those, you know, hazardous at all times. So even then though, well, originally when I was about to be doing this, because if you couldn't tell already, that this took me about 8 attempts to do this, because, well, usually 8 for off-screen, because for love of God, I keep messing things up in certain spots during the forms of in, let's just say at the very end of a level almost, that you do realize is the fact that we have to worry about the forms of all kinds of hazards, like, you know, some more enemies to its disposal, and second of all is the fact that, well, again, you have to get a lot of emphasis on DK bongos most of your majority of this entire playthrough, and chances are that if you somehow messed up with the actual bongo controls, then chances are you will able to also say goodbye to your combos as well as your beats you've already gotten through. So yeah, definitely bear that in mind, but even then though, that's just how it goes basically, in terms of how the fact that with the difficulty might able to start to increase a lot. So even then though, to be expected with most harder kingdoms throughout. So even then though, let's go ahead and get onto here, and hopefully we should able to just get onto the Helibird. Well, before where we at it, well, usually we're now on to combo 15. Let's just try to eat up those munchers, and at the same time trying to able to get rid of those mosquito looking enemies. And yeah, because chances are that one time when I was in this spot, and I totally forgot there was actually more mosquitoes around in this area, and then chances are my combos was exactly gone away due to the forms of not paying attention to those you know, those hornet enemies that I forgot to get rid of. But at least I'm usually going to be perfectly safe for the most part, for the sake of the forms of that part in particular. Plus we reached a certain amount of those beats at the moment, so even then though, we are totally fine until if we get onto the forms of the second level in this kingdom, which appears to be, of course, Magma Coliseum. But even then, we'll talk more about it whenever we get onto that. So So yeah, for the most part though, that this is actually a very good stage to able to actually just to rank up your, you know, some more combos if you really want to get your high score. But I don't know if I can try to necessarily try to go for 3,000 or 4,000 or something, because that was simply the ultimate challenge of them all. But either way though, let's hop onto here, and then trying to get on to... Oh, by the way, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing this particular jungle buddy, as you can see right there, the one I'm using right about now. Because eventually, whenever we get on to the form... Oh wait, this wasn't the final time just yet, because that was on the Starfruit Kingdom, which we'll talk more about it until likely next Monday. So either way, because yeah, today's day is the forms of the 22nd of May today, in this case in 2020. So in this case that... Oh, son of a... Seriously, I hate these mosquitoes. They're just... Or in this case, some hornets, or something like that. I don't know how you would call it, these guys in between. But either way, I just wasn't paying attention. That's the only problem. Of course, before we get on to that, actually, is the fact that there was actually a cool secret that you can able to actually just to perform. Well, usually I'm gonna have to show this off until later, just because at the moment right now, it seems to be more accurate. We are still gonna go down, aren't we? Yeah, we're still about to go down. But there was a way you can able to actually just to go ahead and trying to able to go back up. Well, usually, relatively speaking, I was gonna able to actually keep up with my beats as it goes, but unfortunately I accidentally fell off from here. So either way though, let's go ahead and try this again, and hopefully we should be able to do the same thing as we originally did back in the forms of in the Banana Kingdom. Because if you're trying to let the actual the jungle buddy just trying to able to go like that while simply trying to deal with the air currents just like in the Banana Kingdom, then you should be able to actually guarantee to get yourselves, what else, some more beats. Although despite the fact that we haven't got exactly that much in terms of beats to begin with for that specific combo, just because of how the fact that, as you can tell, I've already got myself about 1,200 beats or more during the forms of that, specifically in the Helibird segment, which that segment can get pretty difficult at times, but I'm just gonna have to admit it though right away. So either way, and that leads us to about 1,562 beats. So that's quite a lot of beats as we got from, you know, from Cloudy Heights. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So the next level we have, as I said before, is Magma Coliseum. Now I think this will be the last time we're going to be coming across into the actual lava environment place. And then after we're done with that though, then we can just simply move on to, well, the next kingdom until, again, whenever we get onto Monday. Plus in addition to the forms of trying to take on the true final boss in the game until next Wednesday, as well as from that until next Friday, which should be next week. Then we should probably be focusing on the forms of the Wii exclusive kingdoms. Naturally, there's only 2 of them. Spoiler warning for those who have not even seen this game yet, even on the Wii or the Gamecube version. Well, most notably on the Wii version specifically. So anyways, let's take down this armadillo enemy thing right here. In fact, this is actually a final time we're going to be seeing that armadillo enemy. Well, in terms of both versions, basically. So even then, though, because of that, we're just going to be essentially going to be seeing exactly the same enemies as in between. Well, to be more specifically, those vampire bats or anything like that, or even just fiery bats in general. So either way, though, we can expect that much. So, and there's that one moment about the fact that we need to try to keep ourselves balanced on that specific rolling obstacle. It kind of reminds me of that the actual Earth Temple from the likes of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, except, well, rather than doing with the forms of, well, it might do the same stuff, except, well, it doesn't usually goes in, like, although that was before when Zelda Skyward Sword exists, so even then, that's as far as I can usually say about it, so. Anyway, so let's go ahead and move things along, and we need to make our leaps of faith here before we jump over it. And, before we get onto that stuff, though, let me just grab ourselves some more beats during the forms of those munchers, as you can clearly tell. And by the way, with the boss fights department during the forms of this entire kingdom, obviously spoiler warning for those of you missed out on our the Lychee Kingdom run through, that since after all I did manage to deal with Thunder Rock in Lychee Kingdom ever since on Wednesday, and then definitely did manage to take down Double Tusk also on the exact same kingdom on this exactly the same day as well. So potentially speaking, we might able to do a little bit of more of a switch around, I suppose, for likely in terms of boss fights department, because this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing some of these the boss shuffle order differences in terms of some of these kingdoms has to offer. Like, I'm pretty sure we might able to face off against with Double Tusk on the Gamecube version of Chili Pepper Kingdom, and as far as the Wii version is concerned, that definitely is going to be able to face off against with, well, as far as I like to say, Thunder Rock. But there's going to be some slight differences too, about the fact that, remember any forms of, oh, excuse me, you stupid pigs. Jeez, what is the matter with you? Anyways, let's try and take those two down, and we'll should probably deal with one on the right, so just in case we can able to get some more beats on the right, and then we can able to finish that one over, joining forms up on the left. So, and as far as you clearly tell from the actual time length of this video for this point, guys, this is by far the longest episode we've ever done so far for this Let's Play. This is probably because, obviously, we're focusing on both versions of the game to see there are some slight significant differences. And second, is the fact that the Chili Pepper Kingdom, as I said before, is easily, without a doubt, one of the longest kingdoms in the whole entire game. Just because there's going to be a lot of stuff you can able to deal with, such as, of course, you know, with Cloudy Heights level, that we have to deal with a lot of combos, potentially. So, even then, that might get a little bit more obvious for this fact. I think, it might actually take about, like, 15 or so minutes to complete it, at least assuming if you try to be more expert than ever will be. So, anyways, let's go ahead and take this guy down, and hopefully it should be easy as pie. So, even then, once you deal with him, then the path will open, and then, well, we should be able to actually just, well, get to the Chili Pepper itself. Although, the only questionable thing about this, I'm just a little bit too nerve-wracking at this rate, especially how, if you try to step onto those platforms, as you can see, the platforms themselves might start to sink through. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a bad timing for that department. Oh, son of a... Okay, let's just concentrate. And hopefully not making any simple mistakes whatsoever. So either way though, although trying to do clapping could be really helpful. So there we go. Even though when Donkey Kong managed to get its bites on the forms of the Chili Pepper when it squirts the water, or even in this case squirts on it, it'll be probably hurtful, especially how Donkey Kong could even blink. That might have caused a problem. So anyways, let's face off against with the final Tusk fight, and that appears to be Double Tusk on the Gamecube version's Chili Pepper Kingdom. Then again, as I said before, Devi has already done with this boss on the Wii version on the Litchi Kingdom, but now it's time on the Gamecube version to deal with... Oh jeez, I forgot about that part. Yeah, if you accidentally manage to get sucked up in the forms of the actual Tusk's trunk, you also take damage, so even then you have to stay sharp on that part. So, pretty much the same boss fight as the forms of how it does it on the Wii version, except, well, obviously with the forms of the DK bongos that we have to utilize with. So even then, no. Then again, it plays out exactly a similar fight as the forms of last time. So, oh jeez, oh that was close. And hopefully we should be able to take down that Tusk on the left rather than just on the right, because I'm pretty sure Duffy has already taken down the right Tusk, where you know, the normal Tusk on the right. And then as a result, then it should be able to actually just, well, destroy that. Well, I don't know how do I truly explain that sometimes, because, well, it has been such a long while since I actually mentioned about new discussions or anything like that in between. So either way though, let's go ahead and deal with the Tusk on the left, and, oh, so close. Is there any, okay, there is some in here. Alright, so let's, I think I should probably just toss that one over there. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. There we go. That way she'll deals the damage on that Tusk over there. And hopefully we should be able to send the majority of the bombs right at the forms of the left Tusk on the left. So, even that note, there goes the left Tusk. And now we're going to be dealing with the right Tusk, even though it's kind of like the opposite version of the Wii version from the likes of in the Litchi Kingdom run-through, as you guys could clearly notice. Not so much like the forms of Torch Tusk is the fact that sometimes you're able to now fire the fireball cannons, as you can clearly see on screen. I don't know if it's... Ah, jeez. Is he going... Oh my god, he's going the other way back? Jeez Louise, man. Yeah, it looks like definitely the Double Tusk is probably the difficult fight, throughout the whole majority of, you know, Tusk's series of battles. So, even way though, bye-bye Tusk, you'll never see me ever again. And there it goes, obliterated to pieces, and there we go. That's pretty much about it when it comes to the forms of, well, specifically, Chili Pepper Kingdom. So either way, we lost about 160 beats sadly, but regardless of everything else though, we still got enough beats until whenever we get ourselves the next 4 crests, which is the usual bronze, silver, gold, and of course platinum. So, you know, you get the actual treatment for this point, so even then there's not much else I can usually just speak of, because, you know, it's pretty much the same deal, but, you know, it takes place in a different kingdom as opposed to the same ones, so, yeah, you get the idea for this suggestion, so, there we go. So if you're probably wondering, what happens if you do not make it to the amount of, yeah, I was gonna try to pull off combo 18, but unfortunately I didn't get my chance to do that, so... Anyway, it's your turn, Deafy, to take on the forms of Chili Pepper Kingdom on the Wii version, so good luck. Alright, so apologize for that awkward quiet thing as appeared during the forms of that ending portion of the Gamecube version. But either way though, let's head on to the Wii version's Chili Pepper Kingdom, where basically we get to do the exact same stuff as the forms of the Gamecube version, except, well, the only major difference whenever we get towards the end of this kingdom is that, well, we might as well able to take on a different boss, which apparently it might actually be, Thunder Rock, so even... Excuse me, that, as far as I'm aware, because usually Tiana has already, established that ever since during the forms of in, you know, the Gamecube version of that specific run-through. So, here's where, as you can see right here, I did manage to able to pull off combo 7, this meaning I could able to potentially get my possibilities of getting some more bananas onto my bananas count. So, yeah, as far as what Tiana has already established that before, during the forms of in the actual, the crest ceremony stuff, is the fact that what happens if you do manage to do not get yourselves all the most of the majority of the beats themselves, even if you go like lower than 100, then what happens is though is the fact that you don't get anything. So even then I just want to classify that. So either way though, that's as far as I can say about it. Same applies to the forms of the Wii version as well, by the way, so even then I just want to classify that, so... Now, of course, if you couldn't tell, this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing the actual bubble, segment, as you can see right there, just because I'm pretty sure that Tiana has not even mentioned about that during the forms of in the Gamecube version of this kingdom, so even then there's not much else I can say about it. So either way, though, that, yeah, not much else we can say, sadly, just because of how the fact that since because of that, though, the reason why we've not discussed on this too much is because, since after all, we've almost nearly towards the end of this game already, so even then we can expect this much. So yeah, speaking of today, actually, let's just ignore the checkpoint as it is, because if I somehow mess this up, then I have to go and I have to go all the way back to the beginning of the stage. So just in case I can able to try that combo thing again, although I accidentally landed onto that flat thing right here. I was gonna able to pull off some more combos in between, but whatever, it's not the end of the world honestly. So either way though, and I accidentally ignored that 1-up coin or that 1-up token as far as I'm aware. So even then though, speaking of which actually, it's the fact that these DK coins kind of reminds me of you know, with the actual hero coins from the likes of Donkey Kong Country 2 and Donkey Kong Country 3, and especially noticeable with, I would say by the forms of in, Donkey Kong Jungle Climber, about the fact that you could able to actually just notice some representing and stuff. Again, it's been such a long while since I actually discussed upon certain stuff. This is probably because, as you can see, I'm actually kind of concentrating on here, just because I really can't stress enough about the fact that this particular kingdom can get pretty tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you really want to go and go after yourselves, you know, for the majority of the bananas themselves, or even beats in general, just because of how the fact that, yeah, I was thinking to myself that where is the actual electric cloud down there, which surely it did make its appearance during the forms of in the Gamecube version, but for whatever reason, it's nowhere in here. Ah, oh well. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get ourselves combo 10, and let's just find another spot so that way we can able to do the same stuff as what Tiana has already done. So either way though, there's no point getting these pedals honestly, just because, specifically on the Wii version, just because of how the fact that unlike the Gamecube version, it really does help. So either way though, let's go all the way higher up, and then once we reach up here, then, as usual, there's gonna be some more bananas / beats during that specific side. So either way though, look at all that! A whole bunch of bananas! It was like, going like, curly to curvy kind of like, pattern here. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And, it really does help me too, is the fact that, as you can tell, since we're still on combo 10, even though originally I was gonna able to go through combo 18, but most of the time I keep messing things up with the actual movements and stuff, sadly. But, apart from those negative stuff, then we should be able to get ourselves, you know, 789 of those bananas. Oh, jeez. That's a broken record for that specific stage. But anyways, that leaves us about, like, although it's nowhere near as close as, specifically in Tiana's run-through on the Gamecube version, because she managed to got herself about 1500 or something. So either way though, that's as far as I can think of. So anyways, let's move on to Magma Coliseum on the Wii version specifically now. And I think this is where the point where the game's difficulty will start to get a lot more increasing for this point, especially how we now need to deal with the forms of tricky platforming and what have you, and second of all is the fact that this place is entirely in lava, so either way though, we have to be very careful, and plus we need to, well, just be very cautious. That's all I can really say about it. So yeah, a few things we want to explain about this before we're able to actually just continue with this potentially, and that was the fact that yes, until next week, that Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch will be releasing next week. So even then though, that for those of you probably wondering, are you excited for the actual remake, or in this case remastered I should say, just because it plays out exactly the same game as in the forms of in both versions of the game so far. But the only major difference and why I prefer the Switch version over the previous two is that, first of all, they actually includes the remastered music, just like in forms of the Kingdom Hearts remastered games, and especially noticeable with the visuals to look much better than in forms of how it does in the original version. And thirdly is the fact that, well, you know, it just adds some more content than the likes of how it does in the original versions. So, yeah, that's as far as I can say about it. So anyways, let's go ahead and take down some more, you know, fiery bats. And yes, we got a checkpoint. Even though I was able to save that up and before I touched the checkpoint. But oh well, beggar cells can be choosers, I suppose. So anyways, this will be the last time we're going to be seeing that ticked off chicken enemy right here. So even then though, because of that, yeah, as I said before, we're actually getting pretty close towards the end of this game, folks. So even then though, I can't even believe that usually, relatively speaking, those uploads can go really fast, and especially noticeable how the fact that, well, relatively speaking, there's not much else I can really just to muster. So anyways, let's pull that tongue out of him, and we should be able to continue, so hopefully not much of an issue for this point right here. Although then again, it gets to the point it starts to get a little bit more difficult as far as game progressions goes, and screw you. Anyway, so let's go ahead and try to able to deal with them, and I think I should probably be focusing on the actual odd pattern between left or right. And even then, I could potentially try to go for that. So, anyways, I think we should probably deal with the one on the right first, and then just get ourselves our 1-up to top it off. So that way it just leaves us to 13 extra life so far. And we should take this pig down, and we can probably continue. So, again, no point in getting these pedals, by the way, because again, just gives you new extra life, and that's pretty much about it. Even though that the best way to able to rank up some more extra lives is the fact that you could able to pick the easiest kingdom and then just trying to go after more extra lives in between. So yeah, you get the idea of that solution. So yeah, we have this guy again ever since. What the heck? I did not notice he can able to do that. Oh jeez, I'm afraid we're gonna have to able to lose a life at this rate, but then again, we'll see what happens there. So okay, so there's one. Come on. Hurry up before the Lava Kaiser will screw me up. Okay, just one more. Oh, seriously? Okay, come on. Okay, come on. Come on. Oh, that was the last face! That was the last phase! Oh, screw you. Screw you. And that's what I get for able to actually deal with him easier in the Lychee Kingdom. So, unfortunately, for those of you probably wondering, on the Wii version's run-through, this is the first death on the Wii version. And, luckily for me, it only happens at the end of the game, not in the beginning portion of the game, luckily. But still, the fact of the matter is, though, is the fact that, can you tell why, folks, I'm not a big fan of that particular enemy that I just died on? Just because of how the fact that you have to be so strict, or in this case, the timing on that particular enemy is pretty damn strict, I have to say so for this matter though, if I have to be brutally honest here. Sure, it's a little bit more accuracy on timing and what have you, but even then, I just seriously cannot even believe I got screwed over by that, so... But luckily, we got a whole bunch of extra lives though to top it all off, so at least we're fine with that, so... Although luckily we can able to actually grab that extra life again, in case if the actual insanity goes wrong again. So even then, let's grab that extra life again. So that way it leads us back to 13, even though if I somehow turn off the game and restart the whole entire thing again, this means it'll go all the way back to 5 extra lives as opposed to my current lives I have, unlike Super Mario Sunshine or something like that, so... But you know, you get the idea. So anyways, let's go ahead and just finish him off for good, and hopefully we should be able to continue things on. Good thing about this though is the fact that I somehow got the checkpoint from, you know, not too long ago, so even then though, because chances are that actually saved my progress, so even then though, that's what I can really think about it. So anyways, let's try this stupid fight again, so hopefully we should be able to deal with him again. Although, luckily, this is the final time dealing with this guy in particular, so even then though, yeah, in your face, you idiot. Jeez. Anyway, let's go continue, and we should probably go ahead and reach to the chili pepper itself. And from here, we can able to just take a bite, and should get some more bananas to top it off, and what else? We're gonna deal with, oh, there's not much beets I can get, or not much bananas I should say. Ah, whatever. Anyways, let's take care of the forms of the final rock fight, which appears to be Thunderbird, or Thunder Rock, I should say. And that, we can able to actually just to clarify for able to realize that hopefully we're not going to take that much damage, I'm presuming so. Although, what's weird about this version, unlike the Gamecube version of the game, that, usually relatively speaking, is that the lighting effects is actually a lot different than the forms of how it does on the Gamecube counterparts, because back in the forms of in the Gamecube version, it almost becomes like a silhouette, but in here, it just somehow brightens it up, and then as a result, we can expect we can able to actually just to see of how, the actual lighting effects will able to come right in, so... Oh yeah, there's one thing that Tiana has not mentioned about that, and that was the fact that every now and then now, is the fact that the actual Thunder Rock will now start to be sending out a much huger boulder that you must avoid. That way you should be able to deal with it no problem, such as I was just doing right here. And there we go, folks, that pretty much takes care of Thunder Rock, and I think that pretty much takes care of all the, rock fights during the forms of the whole entire thing. It's just a matter of one more foe to deal with before taking on the true final boss in the game, and that's what appears to be the another Kong battle, which either way though, we'll point it out whenever we get on to next Monday, so even then though, I gotta say, we've almost reached to about 2,000 beats, or 2,000 bananas I should say, during the forms of the specific kingdom as a result. It could have gone a lot better if I don't die during the forms of that stupid enemy fight I have to deal with, but regardless of such though, folks, whatever. We'll just go ahead and just leave it up to that as it goes by, so... Alright, let's see what movie 2 is in store for us. Pretty much just a combo thing, which I was gonna do that, but... Unfortunately, I didn't get my chance to do that, so... Oh well. Beggars cells can be choosers, I suppose. So now we've been able to master the actual J-Barrel of Kingdoms now, so even then though everything else goes all pretty swell. Yeah, I'll take a break for this point right now, so I guess we'll have to end things off at this point right there. So join us next time for more of Let's Play of Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and that was the fact that we're going to be hit on to the next kingdom, which appears to be going in space, of all things, in the Starfruit Kingdom. So this should be very exciting for most of you all out there. So yeah, see you guys until next Monday. Later, fellas.